Yes, that's right, it's Joe here for Joyrider TV out on the Hobie 16. And today I'm going to find out, is it faster in the strong wind with or without the jib single-handed? Let's go. Apparently as we get a bit further out, the wind's going to get much stronger. I think we are going to have to get a bit of height first so that we've got a bit more space to bear away. Okay, so let's do that. Getting the traveller line, putting the traveller in, just up to the toe strap. I think it's about right. Just do a little bit of a tidy up while we can. Yeah, very strong wind this afternoon. Must be, well, I don't know if it is that strong. Feels strong, looks strong, but is it strong? Answers in the comments. Sailing with the Super R dark matter sails, much flatter, especially in the top section than the standard stock sails. So I think we're going to go for the first ascend pretty soon, just because we have got a drone with us. As you probably saw, we don't want to lose contact with him whilst we are giving it the juice. All right, so here we go. Let's give it some juice and see what shakes loose. Hope it's not me that shakes loose. A good secure position at the back of the boat, looking for the gusts and lulls. Bit of a gust here, but it is gonna not last particularly long. Whoa, bit of weird chop. Try to keep the traveller line away from the rudder, and yeah, we're pretty quick there. Yep, that certainly feels pretty quick. Okay, and I'm going to take it up again just to go and snare some of that flat water on the windward side of the bay for a higher top speed. All right, good first try though. Yeah, this could be a very quick day, but it all depends on one thing, and that is if I've got the skills to pay those bills. And those bills need paying. We've definitely got enough power, that's for sure. So we're just going to head up to the ballistic zone. Going to ease the main and the jib out, and then light the fuse. All right, might get a little bit gusty up here. All right, so jib coming off first, about there. I think is good. Don't throw the jib sheet into the boat too much. Then next, traveller coming off outside the tow strap, because from that first run, that seems to be the right spot. Okay, getting into the position, braced, few windsurfers on the pitch, but we'll go deeper as we can. Right, here we go. Yeah, very gusty. Whew. Maybe I came up a bit too far to the mountain. It's a strangely gusty day today. Just not quite enough wind to, or the gusts don't have quite enough sustain at the moment. This next one is looking good. So here we go. A little bit more traveller, a bit more power. Yeah, that seems to have done the job. And A bit more wind there. God, how the hell can you do over 25 knots single-handed? That is the question. Maybe leaving the jib at home might unlock the answer in some degree. Here we go, good gust coming. This could be the one. Okay, and that's all we're going to give it, because we have got to make it back. All right. Gonna go slightly out on the traveller just to make sure we ain't got too much juice to start with, and then we can always juice up. I think that's a better way to live your life. Using the handle going out for added security. I'm pretty far out, so I don't want to be man overboard out here. A bit less traveller, more main sheet. There we go. All right. Okay, yeah, we've got a bit of pace on here. It's not anywhere near the big speeds that we're looking for, but still feels good. Right, bit of a hole coming up, so I'm just going to head up into that hole just to keep a little bit more heel on so I can stay out on the trapeze, and then I'll bear away again in the next gust. All right, here we go, next gust coming up. Very choppy today in Vasiliki Bay, which probably on the camera looks like no chop at all, but on the boat looks a bit choppy. Here we go. Just going up a little bit here. So I've moved my weight forwards. Main sheet, block to block. And just looking at the sail shape, we've got quite a flat sail in the upper section and then quite a lot of fullness in the bottom section, which for the strong winds, for giving it the juice, I think that's got to be somewhere close to optimal, as is this gust. So I'm getting to the back, ready to unleash all of the beans at once. Yeah, let's chop in here. Okay, and I do believe, I don't know what I believe, in fact, but this was a different type of exciting run with this chop. But we'll still see what the difference is when we get rid of the jib. Top tip, when you're dropping the jib when it's windy, keep some tension in the luff. Stop it flogging. Okay, taking our bridle wire. It's choppy as hell, man. Yeah. Okay, so then I'm pinning the bridle wire, but that could be a bit of rope. If you haven't got a spare bridle wire around, I'm going to crank on the rig tension, maybe a little bit more than before. Doesn't look quite as cool, I don't think. The black jib really added quite a lot of character to the girl, but never mind, it's all about control and speed. Okay, and we're back on the boat, jibless. Yep, no jib I'm just going to come upwind a bit before we hit the first ascend. It's quite nice having the extra view through this gap just here. Time to charge. All right, getting to the back. And here we go. I've kept the Traveller in a fair bit because we're not going to have nearly as much power. But I think it's just a level of control we should feel is that much more. Yes, can really dial it in because the main sheet, easing the main sheet has got such a more instant payoff. Like you let it out, the boat comes down much quicker. Whereas, of course, as you would expect, when the jib's pulling as well, then that's making up for a lot of the beans, a lot of the sauce. Here we go. This is not how it was intended to be, but oh my word, this is a lot of fun. I really feel like I can throw it around a lot more because of that confidence of being able to dump the power more readily. Right, I'm going to come upwind, see if it's filled in a bit up in the flatter water. Still very lumpy. Well, of course it is. Was it really going to change in 10 minutes that it took us to change our rig? No. All right, I think I'll bear away before this red windsurfer. So I'll get, whoa, that water wanted to take me off the back. That would have been a good one. Yeah, good gust here. Let's see what she's got. Give it some juice and see what shakes loose. Here we go. Could do a bit less on the old Traveller. Okay, let's see if I can wind that in a bit better. Yeah. Yeah, it still doesn't feel rapid. Just gonna go for one more up and dive to it's this chop. Really just at a funny angle today, which is like a hindrance. Wind is certainly on. I reckon it's, well, it's definitely in excess of 20. Maybe, oh gosh, someone's coming straight for me. Maybe it's as much as 25. Up to the ballistic zone where miracles can happen. So way up between chop and strong winds. Yes, we want the strong winds, but we want it without the heavy chop. Okay, come into the back. Oi, oi! It's Marco. He's saying I'm going faster than you, and I'm saying yeah, I think you are. Very nice. Marco was, of course, a very long-term crew on the Tornado and on the Tiger before that. Bit of rudder stall there. More rudder stall. Now, why has that rudder stall just started happening? If it's because we've got that much more power, gonna let the Traveller off a bit more so we can get the sheet in a bit more. Maybe that will help. Here we go. Yeah, more rudder stall. Okay, so come up a little bit. All right, and I'm gonna come in and then we're gonna tack, because everybody that I saw on the beach said, isn't that gonna be really hard to tack? And I said, nah, it's gonna be easy, mate. All you need is a little bit of technique. So let's have a look. Gonna bring the traveller in a bit, get her going a bit. Of course, we could do a static, but all right, here we go. Loads of main sheet on, pushing it in. We're head to wind. And what's happening there to a degree is instead of the wind catching the jib, it's actually catching the bow on the new windward side and pushing us round, which is rather nice. Okay, round two. Still trying to work out optimal main sheet length for everything. For the speed run, it certainly feels like it wants to be shorter. Okay. Here we go. Gust number one. Having a look. See how the rudders are on this tack. Feels all right, not super light though. Cool, that's a big gust. Really curling me toes there. Even bigger gust coming up, but it might be big hole before the gust. Conclusion is yes. I think, without having seen the numbers, I'm guessing not as quick, but certainly every bit as fun, and in fact, maybe even a bit more fun when it's as heavy as this. Oh yeah, this is good. God, nice gust, but this chop is horrible. Crikey. Makes me feel like a normal day. We are so lucky here, but there's a significant amount of northwesterly wind around, which I think has just kicked up this chop. Even though the wind isn't that much stronger than normal, still it's kicking up. All right, traveller in, ready for the final approach. Back on the boat, please. There we go. All right. So for docking, just a downhaul off, and there we go. That'll do. The dirtiest of broad reaches to get onto the runway. And there we go. Okay, so thanks for watching. I'll see you soon with some more on Joyrider TV.